I'm happy to be with you today. If you are learning English and want to improve your listening and speaking, you are in the right place. In every episode, we talk about useful ideas in simple English, so you can grow your English and your mind at the same time. Today, I want to talk about a powerful idea. The idea is, think in decades, act in days. Maybe you have never heard this before. That's okay. In this episode, I will explain what it means, why it is important, and how you can use it in your life. And of course, all in simple English. So, sit back, relax, and let's learn together. So, let's begin with the phrase, think in decades, act in days. What does that mean? Don't worry if it sounds difficult at first. We will break it down together. Let's look at the first part. Think in decades. A decade means 10 years. So, to think in decades means to think about the future. Not just next week or next month, but the next 10 years or more. It means asking yourself questions like, where do I want to be in 10 years? What kind of person do I want to become? What skills do I want to learn? What kind of life do I want to build? This is called long-term thinking. You are not just thinking about today or this week, but you are thinking far ahead, into your future. Now let's look at the second part. Act in days. This means that even if you are thinking about the next 10 years, you should take action today. Not next year, not later, but today. Every day, you should take small steps toward your big dream. Maybe it's reading for 10 minutes. Maybe it's learning 5 new English words. Maybe it's doing some exercise or saving a little money. These are small actions, but when you do them every day, they build something big over time. So when we put it all together, the phrase, think in decades, act in days, means have a big long-term vision for your life, but take small actions every single day to move closer to that vision. This idea is very helpful in life. Many people dream big, but they don't take action. And some people work hard every day, but they don't have a clear goal. This phrase helps us do both. Dream big and work small. Every day. In this episode, we will explore this idea more deeply. I'll give you examples, stories, and tips so you can understand it better and use it in your own life. And remember, as you listen, you are also improving your English. That's the power of learning with Code Your English. 2 skills in 1. Let's get started. What does think in decades mean? Let's now go deeper into the first part of the phrase, think in decades. As we said before, a decade means 10 years. So, when we say think in decades, we are talking about something called long-term thinking. This means thinking far into the future. Not just about today or tomorrow or next month, but about the next 10 years or more. This type of thinking helps you plan your life in a smart way. It helps you to stay focused on your big goals and not get lost in small problems or short-term stress. Long-term thinking is like planting a tree. When you plant a small tree, it doesn't grow big right away. You have to take care of it, water it, and wait for many years before it becomes strong and tall. But if you don't plant the tree today, you won't have a big tree in the future. The same thing happens in our lives. If we don't think about the future, we may forget to do the small but important things today that can help us grow. Thinking in decades helps us make better choices now, so we can enjoy a better life later. Let's look at a few examples to understand this better. First, let's talk about your career, your job or profession. Imagine you are just starting to learn something new, like computer programming or digital marketing. In the beginning, it may feel hard. You may feel like you don't know much. But if you think in decades, you can say to yourself, If I study and practice a little every week, where could I be in 10 years? You may become an expert. You may get a great job, or even start your own business. That long-term thinking helps you stay patient and consistent, even when things feel slow. Now, let's take another example. Health. Many people want to be healthy, but they only think about it when they get sick. If you think in decades, you might ask yourself, what can I do now to be strong and healthy when I'm 40, 50, or 60 years old? You may decide to walk every day, eat better food, drink more water, or sleep well. These small habits, done over many years, can make a big difference. Your body will thank you later. Again, the idea is to think about your future self, the person you will become, and take care of that person starting today. Now let's think about relationships, your friends, family, or partner. Sometimes relationships can be difficult. We might have disagreements or feel too busy to talk. But if we think in decades, we start to see how important it is to build strong, kind, and honest relationships. We may ask ourselves, do I want to be close to this person in 10 years? If the answer is yes, then we try to listen better, forgive faster, and show more love today. Long-term thinking helps us become better people in our personal lives too. So, why is long-term thinking so important? The answer is simple. Because life is long, and good things take time. If we only think about this week or this month, we might choose what is easy, not what is best. For example, watching TV may be easier than studying English. Eating junk food may feel good now, but it's not good for your health later. Long-term thinking helps us say no to short-term pleasure and yes to long-term success. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Also, long-term thinking helps us stay calm. When something small goes wrong today, we don't feel like the world is ending. We remember that life is a journey. One bad day is just a small part of the whole picture. When we think in decades, we learn to be more patient, more focused, and more hopeful. We understand that everything big starts small. Every expert was once a beginner. Every success story took years to grow. And every step, no matter how small, matters when we are walking a long road. Thinking in decades doesn't mean you have to plan every little detail of your future. It just means having a clear direction. It means knowing what kind of life you want and moving toward it slowly but surely. It means asking yourself, what do I really want in the future? Then you use that vision to make better choices today. Without that long-term vision, we can feel lost. We might spend years doing things that don't really matter. But when we think in decades, we give meaning to our time. We give purpose to our actions. So, the first part of this idea, think in decades, is all about seeing the big picture. It's about being smart and strong for your future self. It's about dreaming big, not just for next month, but for the next 10 years of your life. And most of all, it's about believing that your future is worth planning for. What does act in days mean? Now that we understand what it means to think in decades, let's move on to the second part of the idea. Act in days. This part is just as important as the first one. If thinking in decades helps us see the big picture, then acting in days helps us move forward, one small step at a time. It reminds us that even if our goals are big, we must take action every day to make progress. Thinking alone is not enough. We also need to do something, even if it's small. Many people have big dreams. They want to start a business, learn a new language, write a book, or become healthy and strong. But they wait for the right time to start. They say things like, I'll start next month, or I'm too busy today. The truth is, there is no perfect time to begin. And that's why this idea, acting in days, is so powerful. It teaches us that the best time to start is today, and the best way to make progress is by doing a little bit every day. When we say act in days, we are not talking about doing something big or difficult every day. We are talking about taking small, simple steps. These steps are easy to do, but they are also easy not to do, and that's why many people skip them. But when we do these small actions every day, they become habits, and over time, those small habits build big results. Let's look at a few examples. Imagine you want to improve your English. That is a great long-term goal. But how do you act in days? You don't need to study for 5 hours in one day. Instead, you can read for 10 minutes, listen to a short podcast, or learn 5 new words each day. These actions may seem small, but if you do them every day for 1 year, your English will improve a lot. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something every day. Now let's say your long-term goal is to be healthy. You don't need to go to the gym for 2 hours every day. You can start by walking 15 minutes, drinking more water, eating one healthy meal, or sleeping on time. These are small actions, but they make a big difference when you do them daily. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Or maybe your goal is to save money or become better at managing your finances. Acting in days could mean writing down what you spend each day or saving just a small amount of money each week. Again, these are simple steps, but over time, they grow. A small amount saved daily becomes a large amount saved in the future. The reason daily action is so powerful is because it builds something called momentum. Momentum means movement. When you take small steps every day, you start to move forward. You feel progress. You feel more confident. You feel more motivated. Even if the steps are small, they help you feel like you are growing, and that feeling keeps you going. Also, acting in days helps you stay focused. Sometimes big goals feel scary. We feel like they are too far away. We don't know where to start. But if we only focus on what we can do today, things become easier. You don't have to climb the whole mountain in one day. You just have to take the next step. That is how big goals are reached, one small step at a time. Another good thing about daily action is that it makes you feel in control. Life can be busy and unpredictable. But when you take one small action each day, you feel like you are doing your part. You are not just waiting for things to happen. You are creating your future with your own hands. That gives you strength and confidence. Sometimes people think that big changes come from big actions, but that's not always true. Big changes often come from small actions repeated every day. It's like brushing your teeth. Doing it once does nothing, but doing it every day keeps your teeth healthy. The same is true for your goals. One small action may not seem like much, but when you do it every day, it changes everything. So remember this: acting in days is not about speed. It's about showing up. It's about doing your small part, even when you don't feel like it. It's about building good habits, little by little. And when you do that, you start to see results. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but soon, and for a long time. To act in days means to use each day wisely. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Ask yourself each morning, what small thing can I do today to move closer to my goal? Then do that thing. That's how you grow. That's how you build a better future. So now you know. Act in days is all about taking daily action, even if it's small. It's the daily effort that creates long-term success. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's daily, simple, consistent action. Why this idea is powerful. So now we understand what it means to think in decades and what it means to act in days. But why is this idea so powerful? Why do so many successful people talk about long-term thinking and daily action? Let's explore why this mindset works and how it can change your life in a big way. The first reason this idea is powerful is because it connects two very different things: your big dreams and your small actions. Most people live in one of two worlds. Some people only think about the future. They make big plans, big goals, and big dreams, but they don't take action. They wait. They imagine success, but they don't move forward. Other people only live in the present. They take action every day, but they don't have a clear direction. They work hard, but they don't know where they're going. Both of these paths can leave people feeling stuck or lost. But when you connect your long-term goals with your daily actions, something amazing happens. You start to see progress. You feel more motivated because you know your small steps are part of something bigger. For example, if your goal is to become a teacher in the next 10 years, and today you study English vocabulary for 15 minutes, that small action has meaning. It's not just a study session. It's a building block for your future. That's the power of this idea. It turns everyday tasks into steps toward your dream. Another reason this idea is powerful is because it helps you build something very important: success habits. Habits are things we do again and again without thinking too much. Brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, or saying thank you. These are habits. But we can also build habits for success. When you take small actions every day, those actions become part of your routine. You don't have to force yourself. It becomes natural. For example, waking up early, reading for 10 minutes, writing down your goals, learning new words, or exercising for a short time. These are all small habits. They may not seem special at first, but when you do them every day for many months or years, they become powerful. These habits shape your future. They shape your character, and they bring you closer to the person you want to become. Let's look at some famous people who used this idea in real life. One simple and well-known example is J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter books. She didn't become famous overnight. In fact, she wrote her first book in small pieces, while taking care of her daughter and working a part-time job. She kept writing every day, even when she was tired or stressed. It took years to finish the first book, and more time to publish it. But she kept going. She had a big dream, and she took daily steps to reach it. Another example is Nelson Mandela, the great leader from South Africa. He spent many years in prison, but he never stopped thinking about the future of his country. He believed in peace and freedom, and even in difficult times, he worked on himself. He read books, studied, and stayed strong in his heart and mind. When he finally left prison, he became the president of South Africa and helped bring change to millions of people. His story shows the power of long-term thinking and daily strength. We can also think about athletes like Serena Williams, one of the best tennis players in the world. She didn't become great in one day. She trained every day for many years. She practiced when she was tired. She practiced when she didn't feel like it. She had a long-term vision to be the best, and she acted in days by showing up to train again and again. That's how champions are made. So whether we talk about writers, leaders, or athletes, the message is the same. Success is not magic. It doesn't happen in one big moment. It happens in many small moments, every day, over many years. That's why this idea is so powerful. It helps us understand that we don't need to rush. We don't need to be perfect. We just need to be consistent. The truth is, most people give up too early. They expect quick results. They try something for a few days, and when they don't see big changes, they stop. But when you think in decades, act in days, you don't stop just because results are slow. You keep going because you know that great things take time. This mindset gives you patience, direction, and hope. It also makes your life feel more meaningful. You're not just living day by day with no plan. And you're not just dreaming with no action. You're building something. You're growing. And that gives you a reason to wake up each morning and do your best. So now you can see, this idea is simple, but very deep. It teaches us that the future is shaped by what we do today. And today matters. Even the smallest step today is better than waiting for the perfect moment. Remember, small steps taken every day lead to big changes in the future. How you can use this idea. Now that you understand the meaning of think in decades, act in days, and why it is such a powerful idea, the next question is, how can you use it in your own life? How can you take this mindset and make it part of your daily routine? Don't worry, you don't need to change everything at once. You just need to start small and start today. The first thing you can do is take a few minutes to think about your long-term goals. What kind of life do you want in 10 years? Where do you want to live? What kind of job do you want? What kind of person do you want to be? Don't worry if your answers are not perfect or very detailed. The most important thing is to begin thinking about the big picture. Give yourself permission to dream. You don't need to tell anyone your dream. It can be just for you, but it's important to have one. This gives your life direction. Once you have a general idea of your future goals, it's time to ask yourself, what small action can I take today? This is where the second part of the idea comes in, acting in days. The truth is, many people stop before they start because their goals feel too big. But remember, big things always start small. Your job is not to do everything at once. Your job is to take one small step each day. Let's look at a few examples. Imagine you want to become better at your job, or maybe you want a new job in the future. That's your long-term goal. So, what can you do today? Maybe you can watch a short video about your field, read one article, or write down 5 things you want to learn. If you repeat this every day after 1 year, you will know much more than when you started. You didn't go to university, you just showed up every day and took small steps. Now let's talk about health. Maybe your long-term goal is to have more energy, lose some weight, or just feel stronger and healthier. That is a great dream. But you don't need to follow a hard fitness plan or eat only vegetables from day one. You can begin by walking for 10 minutes today. You can drink a glass of water when you wake up. You can eat one healthy meal. These small changes may not look like much at first, but they become powerful when you repeat them. Over time, they turn into habits, and those habits shape your future health. Another important area is studying, especially if you are a student or someone who wants to learn something new. Many people say, I want to be smarter, or I want to learn more, but they don't know where to begin. Again, think long-term and act today. Read one page of a book. Watch one educational video. Write one short summary. Even 5 minutes a day is enough to build momentum. What matters is not how much you do. It's how often you do it. And now let's talk about something very close to your heart: your English learning. If you're listening to this podcast, you already have a long-term goal: to speak and understand English better. That's wonderful. But maybe you feel like your progress is slow. Maybe you sometimes feel tired or frustrated. That's okay. It happens to everyone. But this is where Think in Decades, Act in Days can really help you. Your goal is to speak fluent English in the future. That's your big dream. So ask yourself, what small thing can you do today? Can you listen to a short podcast, like this one? Can you read a short story? Or learn 5 new words? Can you speak out loud for 5 minutes? If you do one small thing every day, your English will improve. It may feel slow, but it's working. The key is to keep going, even when you don't see fast results. Remember, learning a language is like growing a tree. It takes time, but it's worth it. Also, don't forget to track your progress. You can use a notebook or a simple app. Write down what you did each day. This helps you see your growth over time. When you look back after a few months, you will see that all those small actions added up, and that will make you feel proud. One more piece of advice: don't be too hard on yourself. Some days you will be busy. Some days you will feel tired. That's normal. You don't have to be perfect. Even if you miss a day, just start again the next day. What matters most is that you don't give up. Be kind to yourself and trust the process. So, to use this mindset in your life, here's what you can do. Start by thinking about your big dream, your 10-year vision. Then, bring it back to today. What can you do right now, in just 5 or 10 minutes, to move a little closer to that dream? That's the daily action. That's how real change happens, not in one big moment, but in many small, simple steps. You don't need more time. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You just need to begin. Use what you have, do what you can, and take that one small step today. Your future will thank you. Common mistakes people make. Before we finish, I want to talk about some common mistakes that many people make when they try to use the idea of think in decades, act in days. Understanding these mistakes can help you avoid them and make your journey smoother. One of the biggest mistakes is only thinking short-term. Many people live day by day without thinking about their future. They focus on what is easy or fun right now, but they do not plan for tomorrow or the years ahead. This way of thinking can make it hard to reach big goals. For example, if you want to learn English or get a better job, only thinking about today will not help you much. You need to think about where you want to be in 5 or 10 years. What skills will you need? What steps should you take? Without this long-term thinking, it is easy to feel lost or to give up when things get difficult. Another common mistake is waiting for motivation. Many people say, "I will start when I feel motivated." But motivation is not always there. Sometimes you feel tired, busy, or sad. If you wait for motivation to act, you might wait forever. The truth is, motivation is not the best way to succeed. Instead, it is better to act even when you don't feel like it. When you take small steps every day, motivation often comes later. For example, if you want to exercise but you don't feel like it, just put on your shoes and walk for 5 minutes. Once you start, you may feel better and want to continue. The important thing is to show up and do something, even if it is small or feels hard. A third mistake many people make is giving up too soon. We live in a world where we want quick results. We want to see changes in days or weeks. But real change takes time. Learning a language, building a career, or improving health takes months and years. If you give up after a few days or weeks because you don't see fast results, you will never reach your big goals. The key is to be patient and keep going. Remember, success is like planting a tree. It takes time for the roots to grow before you see the flowers. The small actions you do every day are like watering the tree. They may seem slow, but they work over time. Some people also make the mistake of trying to do too much at once. When people feel excited, they want to change everything immediately. They try to study English for 5 hours in one day, exercise for 2 hours, and change their diet all at once. This can cause burnout and frustration. It is better to start with small, easy actions and build from there. Small habits are easier to keep and lead to steady progress. Another mistake is not planning daily actions. You may have big goals, but if you do not plan what you will do each day, it is easy to get distracted or forget. Writing a simple plan or to-do list helps you focus on your daily actions. For example, if your goal is to learn English, your daily plan can include listening to one podcast, learning 5 new words, or writing a short paragraph. This simple plan helps you stay on track and make sure you act in days. Finally, some people forget to celebrate small successes. When you think in decades, it is easy to focus only on the final goal and forget the progress you have made. But every small step is important. When you finish one lesson, understand a new word, or do your exercise for a week, celebrate it. These small victories give you energy and confidence to continue. So, to avoid these mistakes, remember, think about your long-term goals, but don't forget to take small steps every day. Don't wait for motivation. Act even if it feels hard. Be patient, and don't give up too soon. Start small and build good habits. Plan your daily actions clearly, and always celebrate your progress. When you avoid these common mistakes, you will find that think in decades, act in days is not just a good idea. It can be your path to success and happiness. Now, let's take a moment to remember the most important idea from today's podcast. The phrase, think in decades, act in days, is a powerful way to live a meaningful and successful life. It teaches us 2 simple but very important things. First, we should think about our future, about the next 10 years or more. We should have big goals and dreams that guide us. And second, we should take small actions every day to move closer to those goals. We don't need to do everything at once. We just need to do something, even if it is small, each day. Thinking in decades helps us see the big picture. It reminds us that life is a long journey and that great things take time. Acting in days helps us take real steps forward, one day at a time. When we put these 2 ideas together, we create a strong path to success. We don't feel lost or overwhelmed, and we don't wait for the perfect moment to start. We simply begin, and we keep going. I hope today's podcast has helped you understand this idea and how you can use it in your own life. Whether you want to learn English better, improve your health, find a better job, or reach any other goal, this mindset can help you. Remember, your future is shaped by what you do today, and even the smallest step can make a big difference if you take it every day. So, here is my message for you. Don't wait. Don't think you need to be perfect or do big things right away. Start small. Start now. Think about where you want to be in 10 years, and then ask yourself what small thing you can do today to get there. Maybe it is listening to a short English podcast, reading one page of a book, going for a walk, or writing down your goals. Whatever it is, do it today. And keep doing it every day. You have the power to create the life you want. It starts with one step, today. You are not alone in this journey. Everyone who succeeds has started where you are now. The difference is that they didn't give up. They kept thinking in decades and acting in days. And that is how they reached their dreams. Thank you